Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Ciao. Hi, nice to meet you. This is Alessandro.
Hello,
You hear
Alessandro.
me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hi, hello. Cool. So, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. What's your name? So tell me.
My name is Ed, and I am
Ed.
from St. Louis, Missouri, in the United States.
Well, long
Long way.
way
Long
distance
way.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just from Pisa. I'm just from here.
Pisa. Okay. We are going to be in Pisa in October. So,
Cool.
yes.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So. This
Okay.
is actually just a taste of it,
Oh yeah,
just to see.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
just to see what you. Yeah, it's
we
very
are
cool.
looking for a tour guide for when we're there. So I have a group of friends. We're all going 7 couples, so 14 of
Oh,
us.
cool.
Yeah,
Right. So maybe we can keep in touch.
yeah,
Here.
absolutely.
I'll be here. Yes. Why
You
not?
can. I'll send you my email, or you can email me your contact information afterwards.
That's
We can do
cool.
that. Yeah,
That's cool. And then
yeah.
even if you decide to not have a tour guide,
Hmm.
maybe I will give you some tips for traveling around here. That would be great.
Appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Alessandro.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is the first time for you for Amazon Explore.
No, I've got on the Milan tour because we're going to Milan. We're going to Florence,
Cool.
Cinque so I just want to see before I go there. We're staying in Greve
Okay.
at Villa Benedetta. A villa.
Okay. Vale Benedetta. Yes.
Benedetta. You know? Do you know of it?
Yep.
Villa
It's not very
Benedetta.
far from here. It's
Yeah.
half an hour far from this place.
Okay, yeah, so that's my friends booked it. There's nice bedrooms, looks beautiful place. So looking excited to go there.
Cool. Oh,
Yeah,
wow, wow. Yeah, we definitely
yeah,
keep in touch. So I give you what to do. I give you some idea. Could be something to move around without being lost.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that my friends wanted me to ask is where to park in Pisa,
That's
because
okay.
we all have cars.
All right. So, all right. Yes,
Yeah,
I'll send you
yeah.
everything. That it will
Okay,
be easy.
okay,
So there's
that would be
plenty
good.
of places for leaving your car here. Yes,
Okay,
it's a tourist area.
okay. Thank you, Alessandro.
um, no problem. It's my pleasure, actually. So, considering that you have already used features of
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Explore, you know exactly what to do. I mean, for the button for taking pictures if you
Mm-hmm.
want to, and to raise up your hand. But there's no need, actually. We're just me and you. So, anytime you need a
Oh, there's
question,
nobody
just ask
else.
me. And
Okay.
anytime you need to know.
We're lucky to just
So,
have you
yes, we
here.
are
Yeah,
together.
we're together. Okay, thank you, Alessandro. Appreciate it.
It's a group. Just me and you, me and you.
Yeah.
Tell me whatever, anything you want me to answer, I will. I try at least.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
So that's great. Okay, so welcome to Pisa. Welcome to my city. Well, I'm actually a tour guide since a few years
A
ago.
few years ago.
This
Okay.
is my 15th years of activity as a guide.
Okay. And how
So
many
yeah, that's
languages do you
amazing.
speak?
I do actually speak well Italian,
Mm-hmm.
Pisan, the
Pisan.
local,
Okay.
and English and Spanish.
English, Spanish. Oh,
I do.
wow.
Yeah, I just do these languages actually. I just speak a bit of French and
Mm-hmm.
German, but I don't use that much for working. It's not enough for
Right.
working as a guide actually. Yeah.
Right. Right.
You need to be at least clear, but to survive, I speak the other two languages.
Well, you are very
Okay.
impressive for speaking that many languages. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let me tell you where you are,
Okay.
because this is my city. We have just this hour together to see the Miracle Square, so the main attraction of my city. But of course, there are so many other things to see. There's the city center, the Arabian Quarter, and the Galileo area and the University District, because this is actually a university city. And there's something like 60,000 students at the University of Pisa. It's very big as a university center. This is
60,000.
our.
Okay. And you don't need
This is a.
masks. No masks there to wear?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh.
It's about you.
Okay.
And I'm plein air, so external, there's
Right.
no need, it's not obligatory.
Okay.
Inside buildings, it's just if you want to wear it on, but
Okay.
it's obligatory on public transportation, on train, on a flight, or on buses. Also, this is still obligatory.
Okay. Okay.
Fortunately, at least fortunately, yeah.
Right. Right.
We
That's
have
good
a
to know.
we have a
Okay.
bad period. You know what I mean?
We still have to wear it on the flight over. We have to wear it for 8 hours, so that's
Oh
a long
wow.
time to
No,
wear a
yes,
mask.
no.
Yeah. So
I
anyway,
know.
thank you.
But better than yeah, no problem, no problem. So, I'll show you where we are.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the Miracle Square. Oh, I was almost hitting a man.
Okay.
This is where actually I live. Well, I don't live actually here. I live 10 minutes far from here, but this was my playground when I was younger because I was born here nearby. And it's an amazing place. It's a tourist area. But to be honest, there's nobody today.
Mhm.
It's empty. For being this place, usually we have 10 up to 15,000 people visiting the square every single day. And it's a very crowded place. But this is the Miracle Square. So you see the Leaning Tower, you see the cathedral, and the big baptistry here. To be honest, it is not the Miracle Square. I mean, the Miracle Square is an invention, the name of it.
Okay.
It's just an invention because the real name is the Square of the Duomo, of the cathedral that you see there. But everybody knows it as the Miracle Square because a poet called it like this about 150 years ago. And he wrote down one of the most boring poems I've ever read in my life. And on this poem, he describes this square as the lawn of miracles. So, thinking about this beautiful green carpet here, he had this idea, Gabriele D'Annunzio, had this idea of calling it the lawn of miracles. But his name worked. And a lot of people started to call it the miracle square or the field of miracles, so many other miracles connection. But it's just the cathedral square. And it was an island in the past. Because you have to know that Pisa, come back to my Pisa is a city that was very similar to Venice, the city of Venice, Venezia.
Okay.
There used to be islands here. There used to be something like 270 islands, and it was on the delta of the Arno River. We have a river here, the same river that you will see in Florence, but much better here because we hate Florence.
I know. I heard that.
Everybody hates Florence.
Right. Everybody.
But, yeah, and so there used to be a lot of rivers. Even the streets you see behind me was a river in the past. And the whole square was completely surrounded by 4 rivers. And this was the island of the bridge. This is the reason why the tower leans. And I go back to that one. Because exactly where you see the tower, there used to be another river. So it sank down as everything, all of these buildings just started to have problem with the foundations because they are really heavy. They are blocks of marble. And all of the buildings in town, in the city, they all lean. I grew up in a tower that is leaning more than the tower itself because we have something like 23 leaning towers in the city of Pisa. This is about the subsoil that we have in here. This is the hospital. This is the medieval hospital it's still functioning, still in function, still active since the Middle Ages. This is the surgery clinic.
Okay.
That you see here. And the oldest part of the hospital, that one, is actually a museum. Part of it is a museum of drawings, sinopie. The sinopie are drawings to sketches to prepare frescoes. Anytime you wanted to make a fresco on a wall, you had first to prepare the wall with this red powder called sinopia. I have a picture of them. This.
Oh, okay.
This
Wow.
one here.
Okay.
This one. So it was the model to follow to make the fresco on the wall. And all of these frescoes were inside the cemetery that is still in the square. So because here you have, as I was saying before, a hospital, the huge building here, this one here is the baptistry for baptizing. It's a place for baptism still now. Then the church, the bell tower, the leaning tower, and this one is a cemetery. That building is full of frescoes. It's amazing, that building. So that is something that you don't have to miss when you come here. It's definitely the best building that we have here in the square, my favorite one. and it was bombed in 1944. Unfortunately, a bomb fell exactly here by this dome, and
Oh.
it started to, yeah, to burn. There was a fire, and we didn't know how to turn it off, and all of the frescoes were damaged. And we tried to save them, taking them off the wall. These frescoes here, I have another picture, but then we'll see something better. This kind of frescoes inside.
Oh, beautiful.
They're beautiful, they are actually. To save them all, we started to take them off the wall, and we were lucky because we found the cenobias underneath. And so we put all of this great quantity, about 2,000 square meters of cenobias inside the hospital here, inside this place. I want to go inside. I will show you what the hospital was like in the past. And the hospital is called at the moment St. Clair. And this is also the ticket office, just in case when you come and want to buy some tickets. Inside the hospital, inside the part of the museum, there's a ticket office for all of the buildings you want to visit.
If we take a tour with you, will you arrange for getting tickets for our whole group, or do we need to go individually?
I can try. It depends on how many you are.
Okay.
Because, for example, for the tower, there's a cost of 20 euros each person.
Okay.
And but it depends. Yeah, we can talk about it. It's not a problem. Usually I do.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we just, I don't know how big the group will go, but I mean, if you could
tell me.
get us all the tickets together, that would be great. And then,
as you are ready, you tell me.
Yeah.
So this is the hospital, and you see up there all of the cenobias.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
It's what they had inside here. There are 3 floors. This floor here, that floor, and the other one upper here. It's actually amazing. And look at this. This is what I wanted you to see. This. You see these little nieces in here? What do you think they wear?
For statues, maybe?
It could be. It could be a good answer, but not. Being a hospital, these were bedside tables.
Oh,
think about
the beds here.
A bed
Okay.
here, a bed here, another bed there, and another one here, and this was for the belongings of the patients.
Belongings. Oh, okay. So
like a little wardrobe, yes.
Nice. Okay.
It is.
Interesting.
It's very nice. Let's go here. You see one of the biggest seller.
Okay.
It's a big family, this place. Everybody knows each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
Especially if you've been there for many years, so.
Yes, exactly. And we're going out from here.
Got there. Okay.
And again, you are in the square. Take a look at the cathedral. Look at the side of it. You see that leans also this one because this area goes higher.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we had a problem. When they started the construction of the cathedral, it was 1063. After about 30 years, they were able just to get to this point where you see this difference in between the stones, this dark stone and the white marble. And this was supposed to become the end of the church, but then they suddenly realized that the church was sinking here, so they suddenly had to add about 60 feet more to hold it up.
To hold it up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, to hold the whole thing, actually.
Interesting.
The church is about 300 feet long. It's really big for being a church of the Middle Ages, actually, because if you think that this was built in 1063, it was really huge. But Pisa was one of the richest cities that we had in the past year. It was really huge. It was a big city. If you, now there's the sun against us, but can you see the walls there, the city walls? The city walls, they go all around the city with a length of almost 6 miles, a little more than 6 miles. So 6 miles of city walls in the 1100 means a city that was a metropolis, was a huge, big city. And they're still here, fortunately, the walls. There's also the possibility to walk on them, and you can walk for 3 miles, just that's it at the moment. But it's a great experience also.
Oh, yeah.
So Pisa is actually a city that was founded about 4,000 years ago. And it's still very old. And We don't know exactly who made it, who was the one who started the history of Pisa, but um, we believe it was a group of people coming from Greece, because there's another city with the same name, Pisa, in Greece, Pisa Olympia, the place of the Olympics. And so these people came here 4,000 years ago, and they made the new city of Pisa, giving it the same name, because the name Pisa, the word Pisa, means open mouth, big open mouth.
Open mouth, okay.
And it's because of the position of the city, being on the delta. Think about the shape of the delta of the river, a big triangle, and so the mouth. That's the big open mouth.
Okay.
And it suddenly became a port city, and we were a port city during the Etruscan people, this great moment of the history of Tuscany. When the Etruscan came here 3,000 years ago, they gave us a lot of things. They gave us the society we have now, the culture that we have now. It's amazing. Oh, the irrigation is on, so I don't want to be wet. Yeah, and the Etruscan gave us also the language that we have here, a dialect. So they made a lot of things, and in this area, exactly here, when this was an island, there used to be 3 temples
Okay.
of the Etruscans. So 3,000 years ago was a place for celebrations, ceremonies, for gods, and it was an important sacred area. During the Roman period, this place became a sort of Beverly Hills, because there used to be very rich families living here with about 6 villas. Think about 6 huge villas here in this area. And they were the richest family that we had in the city of Pisa in the past, especially during the Roman period. So that's the reason why, during the Middle Ages, when the bishop of Pisa got that power, and the bishop of Pisa was really powerful because he had the domination on Corsica, Sardinia, on Jerusalem also. He was also the responsible for the Christianity in Jerusalem. He decided to make the new church in here. Because as you have seen before, once again I changed the visual, as you see, we have the wall here behind it. And the walls mean that we are in an external area or by it. So it's not the city center, this one. The city center is about 10, 20 minutes that way, the other side. So this was an external place that was supposed to become the new city center. So that's the reason why they made the church here, and they made a new big square here. It was, at least they tried to enlarge the whole city. But it was the end, because unfortunately, at the end of the 1200, Pisa was defeated during a war, and then there was the plague, the big plague, the Black Death in 1300, that killed the 85% of the population. So we were too weak, and there was no way to become powerful as we were in the past. And that was the beginning of the decline of the Republic of Pisa. But anyway, there's still beautiful things here. And we start from the baptistry, this huge one. Did you know that this is the largest in the world?
Is it okay? So it's larger than the Duomo?
It's large. The Duomo, you mean the big dome of Florence?
Correct.
It is the same size of the Duomo, but the Duomo, so the Cathedral of Florence, is a church. This one is not a church.
Oh, it's not a church.
This
Okay.
is not a church. This is just a baptistry. So it's like a separated chapel
Okay.
from the church in which we just baptize. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, this thing. Can you see this one? This is the
I can, yes.
fountain inside.
Okay.
So what we have inside is a big, big fountain. It was full of water in the past. We just used the little holes now that you see on the edge of the fountain. But in the past it was completely full, like a bath.
Right.
And the ritual, the ceremony of the baptism was just a bath into that fountain there, just to, like the immersion of the body of Jesus Christ, you know? And it was easy. It took just one day for being baptized. And the water was the water coming from the roof. This is the dome, the inner dome.
Oh,
And can
interesting.
you see in the center, there's a kind of oculus.
Right.
It was a hole, actually. So it was opened, and the rainwater could fall into the fountain and filling in the fountain inside. So it was a direct connection in between this baptistry and God. But it was just a place for baptizing. So think about one day each year, and it was the day before Easter Day, and they had to come here, they had to enter from the other side of the baptistry, queue up, and then go into the fountain. It was very quick, but it was really symbolic also, because as you see, let me see if I can show you again, the shape of the baptistry. It's so gorgeous here. This was the exit. This is the door that was the exit in the past. The shape of the baptistry is a circle. It's completely circular. So it's like the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem. It's a kind of replica of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem. So entering this place, you could touch, in a very symbolic way, Jerusalem itself. And then inside, coming from this door, you had the ritual of the baptism, so the bath into the baptismal font. For going into the baptismal font, as the picture showed, you see that there are 3 steps for going up. So the Trinity, 3 steps, and the shape of the fountain is octagonal, the number 8, because it represents the 8th day of the creation of the world, the Christian day. So even if people didn't know what the baptism was, they could touch all of the symbology of the baptism, including the beginning of the new lifetime in Jerusalem. So it is a symbolic place. And also outside, here it is. Outside, once they got out from here, they found these beautiful reliefs. They seem just decoration, but these are the months of the year. For example, I'm getting a bit closer. This one, the first one, this man, he needed to warm up his hands because it's January. G-E, January. It was too cold. Then February, the second one, was a sort of month off. So there was nothing to do. The fields were not ready to be cured and so to grow things. So it was the best moment to go for fishing, for example. And then March, the 3rd month, actually, this man is cleaning his feet because he had worked on fields the whole day long. So before we go back home, he just cleaned his feet. So everything is symbolic, including this decoration here. The vine tree, the vine plant, vine leaves with grapefruit, and these leaves are acanthus. In the past, we believed that if you put these leaves, this kind of plant, all around your house, you could be protected from the attack of the snakes, real snakes. So think about the symbology. The snake is pure evil. So if you decorate a building, a monumental building like this one here, with this kind of leaves, you keep the snakes or the evil out of it. And so all of the things, they have an explanation. It's amazing. Then, once they were ready, they could go into the church. Without the baptism inside this building, they were not allowed to enter that church. So it was almost obligatory. It was a kind of passage, obligatory to go in. And let's see what we have inside here.
So Alessandro, is there a dress code to go in? Like, do women need to wear skirts or cover their shoulders?
Okay, for women, actually, you have to cover your shoulder.
Cover shoulders.
Just the shoulders. Yeah, not too much short pants, but it's okay.
Okay.
For men, just to wear off your head.
Take half. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I had heard that you have to dress modestly if you go there. Yeah.
If you want to. It's better if you don't just come with your underpants.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Good advice. Okay, thank you.
Let me go in. I would like to show you. La posso entrare un secondo? Okay.
Wow.
Yes. They are restoring something, but it's still wonderful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is the big dome inside. To be honest, there are 2 domes, one external and one outside. And these 2 domes, they create a kind of space in between that sounds like an acoustic chamber. So the sound inside this place is almost perfect. In a few seconds, a few minutes, they will make a demonstration of the acoustic inside. So maybe we can hear it.
Okay.
We can listen to it. So this is the fountain, the baptismal font of the 1254. And these were the three steps that you have to walk on to go into the baptismal font.
Okay.
And the statue is St. John the Baptist. There's a little sketch. Oh, there you go. It's still here. This is clear to understand. This is the baptistry as we see it now.
Okay.
And this is the project, the original project of the baptistry in the past. So this dome is the one that we have inside. This is the one that we have outside.
Okay.
So think about the space between, that is this one here, this space here, it's empty. And this is the one that creates this special acoustic inside this place.
Okay.
And there's a gorgeous artist masterpiece inside. That's the pulpit by Nicola Pisano. This is the first artwork considered part of the Renaissance style, even if it's a Gothic temple, it's a Gothic sculpture actually. But the Renaissance, as we intend it to be, is the rebirth of the classical style. And Nicola Pisano started it in 1260 with this beautiful masterpiece. And I'm taking you to a very famous, let's see, I have to light it much better.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Can you see this one?
Yes.
Doesn't
That's
it look like the David, the famous David?
He does look like the David, yes.
It was the model that Michelangelo observed and studied for making the David in Florence. So that's the reason why this is a classical style statue, but made in a Gothic period.
Okay.
It's an incredible, gorgeous building, this one here. And it's really huge. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, fine.
Oh, yes. I had a little problem of connection.
Okay.
Yes, because, okay, it's much better here. This was the entrance originally, this door that is closed at the moment, with the statue of St. John again.
St. John, okay.
Yes, this building is dedicated to St. John, the Baptist,
right.
The one who baptized Jesus Christ. And that is now the exit. I'm coming back here. So you can walk around, and it's gorgeous. Okay, should be time for listening to this acoustic demonstration.
Okay.
Before we go, you can see there are gravestones on the ground. There used to be body in, and they removed all of the body in the 1800s because Napoleon wanted to put all of the bodies inside cemetery.
Okay.
And Napoleon Bonaparte the Bonaparte family was from this area. So he used to join Pisa a lot of time, made a lot of things also in the city of Pisa, including a lot of artworks that were stolen by him, and now they are in the Louvre Museum. But these are important, and you see that they are completely different. So one is shorter than the other. Because on the 25th of March, there's a kind of spot of light coming from a window. It's covered the window. The window is up there. The other scaffolds are covering it. And this spot of light enters at 12 o'clock on the 25th of March in this baptistry, creating just a kind of frame of light around them. And this is the moment in which there's the passage from the old and the new year, because our first day of the year is the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary, 25th of March. So, Ilaria, I don't know if you will hear it. I hope so. That sound. Could you hear something?
Yes. Oh, that sounds beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Grazie,
Let
Ila.
me get that.
Yeah, it is something.
Mhm.
Of course, they are not singer. Of course,
Mhm.
they just
Right.
have to make this demonstration with few notes.
Mhm.
Thank you. And so the reaction of the baptistry is like an echo. So
Mhm.
they have a kind of echo here, and that is stunning sometimes. I was here in 2006
Mhm.
when Andrea Bocelli made
Bocelli.
an experiment. Yeah, because Bocelli
Mhm.
is from here
Okay.
and from here nearby. And he made an experiment with the University of Pisa, and he started to sing inside to demonstrate how strong and powerful the echo could be.
Mhm.
And it was impressive, really impressive. We couldn't even stay inside because the sound was too loud, to
Oh,
be honest. And it's amazing, amazing.
that is good.
But,
Yes.
but anyway, let's go back to our tour.
Okay.
So, entering this place, you had to be baptized. And
Mhm.
once you were baptized, you had just to go during the Eastern day inside the church. But you had to think about two important elements: the hospital that we have seen before,
Mhm.
and the hospital is just a symbol of something. I mean, your pain, your hard life, your sufferings actually. So it's the way to cure you, the way to host you. A hospital means also hospitality, and it's your life basically. If you are a Christian, you need to be hosted, you need to be cured, but also you need to do it in return. So you need to cure, you need to host, you need to be part of um, part of the community. And this was a thought that you had to think every single moment of your daylight and of your day actually. Then you had to think about the other life, the
Mhm.
cemetery. So walking to get into the church, you had these two messages: your hard life, the hospital, and the other life, the cemetery, death. But that is not a passage, it's not the end, it's a passage.
Right.
Because you have also the way out. And think about what we don't see from here, because we can see all of them. And I'm turning around to see. We can see everything: the baptistry, the cemetery, the hospital,
Mhm.
but not the tower. The tower is hidden, is behind the church, and it's something like something that you had to deserve. It's the resurrection.
Mm.
It's the very end of a Christian life. This square is totally symbolic, totally. And
Mhm.
it represents your lifetime in here, if you wanted to spend time in here, of course. The church is here since the 1000, 1063, and if you look at the details, it's almost Moorish, the style.
Right.
Pisa had this great influence from other countries, from Morocco, from Egypt, from Turkey, from Constantinople also. So all of the architects and artists used to study also in those lands. So this is the reason why you have stripes, you have these inlays, these geometrical patterns, the mosaic in Byzantine style, the pillars. That is something that comes from north of Europe or south of Spain. So this church is something like an international style church dedicated to the Assumption of the Virgin Mary, and this was the entrance originally. The entrance for people already baptized. This is Saint John the Baptist. So this was the
Okay.
door after the baptism. And if you look at the details in here,
Okay.
this is the bronze door of the Passion of Jesus Christ. It's amazing. This door was made in 1602 as the central door, and they represent the lifetime of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, and what you needed to know. And if you look at all of the details, the trees, the plants, the animals,
Mhm.
all of the little animals, it's an incredible work of art made in 1602 by Gian Bologna.
Bologna.
Gian
Okay.
Bologna was an artist from Belgium that started to live in Florence and became really famous. And this is bronze, bronze with a lot of copper also
Mhm.
that you have in here. This is the reason why we have this green color that you see here.
Copper.
It
Okay.
depends on copper. Let me take it if I can go in. Let's see. We are inside the church. We are
Beautiful.
lucky today. We're lucky today. They let
Mhm.
me enter every single place.
That's great.
This is the church, the wonderful church.
Beautiful.
It
Do
is beautiful.
do they still have Catholic Mass?
Yes,
They do.
yes, every single morning
Every morning,
at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I
Okay.
want just a moment. I am moving just a bit the camera
Okay.
because I want to center. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Maybe it's much better now.
Okay.
Thank you. And yes, at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's one mass, one celebration, and then on Sunday morning, Saturday afternoon, so it's still active. Yes.
Okay.
And the wonderful thing of this place, of course, is the style, the mosaic. This is Jesus Christ Almighty. I'm getting closer to let you see it, but my favorite thing inside is this going up. Okay. The ceiling.
Oh,
The ceiling is made of wood, but covered with 120 pounds of gold.
gold, right?
Real
Gold
gold,
leaf.
real gold, about 24 carat.
Oh
We
my
don't
gosh.
know where they took it from, actually. Maybe from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Medici family. Can you see this coat of arms?
Mm-hmm.
This is the symbol of the Medici family, the bankers from
Okay.
Florence. Because
Mm-hmm.
they had also the leadership in the city of Pisa, and they started a big, huge renovation here,
Mm-hmm.
also for the cathedral. They were also responsible for putting all of these paintings here. And these paintings are about the history of Pisa, are special moments of the history of Pisa. For example, this is King Richard,
Mm-hmm.
the Lionheart, when he came to Pisa to thank us. And this is Pisa. This is the city of Pisa, a beautiful lady with one baby with the Arno River.
Okay.
This is the iconography of the city. And going ahead, yes, the Moorish style is visible.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a synagogue or a mosque,
Right.
more than a church. And there are also important artworks by artists of the Renaissance period. This is, for example, Andrea del Sarto. And Andrea del Sarto was one of the members of the school of the Academy of Florence, was a classmate of Leonardo da Vinci. They used to paint together, so it was a real important personality of the paintings in the 1400s. And he left us a lot of wonderful masterpieces in the city of Pisa, including this one here. He was the first one who ever created the shape of a pyramid. You see the pose of all of them?
Mm-hmm.
They create a sort of triangle to give more importance to the real subject of the representations of the Virgin Mary. And this is San Girolamo's symbol of science, because Pisa was the city of science. So this is the connection in between this painting and the city of Pisa. This saint that represents all of the studies in the world, all of the knowledge in the world. And Pisa, being a university city, even in the past, was considered one of the most educated cities that we had in Italy. There's a legend, it's not a legend, it's a study made by a few historians. I'm not one of them, I don't believe in this one, but anyway, they say that the angel to the right, the little one I'm pointing now, was painted up by Leonardo da Vinci himself. I don't believe in it for one reason, it's not just me, because Leonardo da Vinci was very proud of himself and he used to leave a lot of signatures and documents, but there's nothing here. And the other factor is that this was painted in 1503. And during that year, Leonardo da Vinci was fighting against Pisa, trying to make a project to change the course of the Arno River for leaving Pisa without water. So the Pisa could be totally destroyed by Florence. So it's not the logic to think that it was also here in this city to paint up something for the city, and meanwhile it was trying to destroy it. But anyway, it could be because the style is very similar.
Oh, that's very interesting.
There's so many stories, so when you be here, you will hear a lot of them. And again in the center, the plant of this church is a Latin cross plant. So like a Christian church, Christian Catholic church. The chandelier I'm pointing, this one here, is the one that was observed by Galileo Galilei when he was a student. Galileo was from here, was from Pisa, was born in Pisa in 1564, but then he studied at the university when he was about 17. He started to observe the movement, the swing of this chandelier because it was swinging. and he started to count the duration of the swing. So trying to understand the reason why any time it swung, the duration was constant. So he said maybe there's a force in the air, a force in the atmosphere that changes the velocity, reacts with the acceleration. This force is the gravity force, but he didn't know anything about that force. But it's that this was the first experiment made on the gravity force by Galileo Galilei. And this is
Wow,
the central
that's
part of the
really
church.
cool. Yeah.
In the school, he was a crazy genius.
He is, yeah.
This is actually the central part of the church.
Hmm.
The image of Jesus, Byzantine style mosaic. This one is a mosaic.
Hmm.
And the cross that you see on the top of it is the symbol of Pisa, the white cross on a red background. This is the symbol of the Republic of Pisa since the Middle Ages, since 1017. And this mosaic was made by Cimabue, who was a great artist. But also there's the original floor here. This is a mosaic of marble made in the 1100s, still here fortunately. It was not totally damaged by people walking on it. And also the other factor is the dome. The dome here is not circular, you see it's oval.
Hmm.
And it's quite unusual in Italy, it's rare, totally rare. Because this is something that we found in Constantinople or in Saudi Arabia in a mosque, not in a church. But Pisa, as I was saying before, had so many connections with those lands. And so they tried us out to imitate the styles of the mosque. Think about the Pisa was the only city here that had not ghetto, not restrictions for Jewish, for Muslim, for the other communities. So even the buildings had to be familiar to all of the communities coming here. I mean, if you entered this place and you were not Christian, you could find something familiar to you again. But for example, the first synagogue of the city of Pisa in the Middle East was inside a church. And the first mosque was inside a church. So we didn't care about it, fortunately, in the past.
Right.
Fortunately,
Good.
that's
Fortunately,
great.
yes.
And then last thing that we go out is this. We have seen the other one in the baptistry, the one of the father, Nicola Pisano. This is the one that the son made, Giovanni Pisano. We call it Pergamon. This was the old altar piece of the church, the place on the top of which we used to celebrate the Mass. The Bible could be put in here on this eagle. The eagle is the symbol of the church, and you have something like 1,000 little characters, 1,000 little reliefs on it. It's the whole lifetime of Jesus Christ. This is King Herod trying to kill Jesus Christ in between the babies. And the other one famous is here. Can you see this one? Is Judah kissing Jesus Christ.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's everything. Oh, sorry, I changed the position.
Okay.
I touched too much.
No, it looks great. Thank you.
So that is actually another wonderful masterpiece that we have in this church. And we have these lions, and they look real, the virtues inside. And Hercules, this is the symbol of strength. Hercules, very powerful, but also real, for being made in the 1300, at the beginning of the 1300. This is 1301. That's stunning. But anyway, for real, it's much better. Let me go out. We go back to the cemetery to see it from the external point, and of course we have the tower.
Right.
There's also something leaning, waiting for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's amazing also if you think that everything is still used. So we still baptize people here, we still celebrate the Mass, we still have the hospital and the cemetery working, and the tower is still a bell tower.
Right.
It's nothing but a bell tower, so that is a great thing to have them still working after so long time. And what's going on? I was almost knocking down a person.
That's okay. That's okay. Alessandro, what is your email address? I'm going to send you the email for contact information so we can get your...
Okay. It's my last name and name. So it's Bargagna. So I make the spelling.
Okay.
B-A-R.
B-A-R.
Yes, it's B like
Yeah, B. Yeah, B.
butterfly.
Yeah, B is a boy. B
B,
A
a
R.
boy.
Yeah. R
B-B-A-R-G
G
A
A
G
G
N
N
A,
A
and then Alessandro. So A
A.
L
Okay. A L
E
E
double S
S S
A
A
N
N
D
D
R
R
O.
O. Okay.
Bargagna Alessandro with a double A in the center. Bargagna
Okay.
Alessandro.
Okay.
Then at
At
gmail.com.
gmail.com. Okay. So are you independent or do you have your own tour
I
company?
am totally independent. I'm a freelancer.
Oh, freelancer. Okay, great. So that's
Yeah.
that's who we prefer to work with. I'm going to send you my contact information, and then we'll
Cool.
try to organize something with the.
That's cool.
Tour,
That's
yeah.
really cool. Yes,
Okay,
actually. If you're able, send me just now. In the meanwhile, we
Mhm.
are together. So just hello,
Okay.
if you can,
Let me
just
do
to
that.
see
Yeah.
if everything is correct. And
Yeah.
I answer suddenly now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
We never know.
do you just give tours of Pisa, or do you give tours of other?
I give tours of the province of Pisa. So Pisa,
Okay.
Volterra, the city of Volterra, and the
Volterra.
area nearby. But I'm not doing Florence. I'm not doing Lucca,
Lucca, okay,
or
no
other
Lucca.
country. No.
Okay.
But I have an association, a guide. So I work with a lot of other guides, and we cooperate. So
Okay.
just in case you need one, I suggest few of them that are the best in my opinion.
Okay, that's yeah, because we have two groups. One is coming from Rome, and they're going
Mhm.
north. We're flying to Milan, and we're going
Mhm.
to Cinque Terre, and then we're going to Florence, and then we're all going to meet
Okay.
at
Okay,
the
that
villa.
sounds great. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
here.
that sounds really great.
Let's put
Okay.
hello from Ed. From Ed. Okay, I'm just sending this to you.
Yeah, yes. As I get
Yeah.
it, I answer.
Yeah.
That's oh, I see. It
Yeah.
is great.
Okay.
Uh, one legend. Do you remember the cemetery? We
Yes.
don't call it cemetery actually. We call it Holyfield, Campo Santo.
Okay.
For one reason, because we borrowed the Holy Land from Jerusalem. When during the Third Crusade, Pisa went to Jerusalem, we brought in here something like 70 boxes of earth, of soil from the mountain Golgotha, and it's exactly the green lawn that you see in the center of the cloister of the cemetery. So that is the Holy Land. So it's the place where Jesus was crucified. And the legend said that if you buried someone underneath that soil, the body could disappear in less than 24 hours. So basically, after 24 hours, you had your own resurrection.
Mm.
So this place became that famous that a lot of artists started to leave all of the frescoes we have seen before. For example, this one here. This is the Victory of Death, made in the 1300. Or this is about, yes, it's something weird and quite rare also. Can you see that kind of target?
Mm-hmm.
This is the world, the universe, as we believed it was before the discovering of America. The planet Earth in the center, surrounded by 7 skies to get to the zodiac, and then 9 skies more of angels to get to God. And God, you see the head of God to the top. And was not flat because they knew it was not flat anyway, but it was in the center of the universe. And then Copernicus and Galileo demonstrated the contrary. But it's quite funny also to have it here. We call it cosmography. And then there are Roman sarcophagi that we stole from Rome, we borrowed from Rome. And then a lot of beautiful statues of the 14, 15 up to the 1800. This is the gallery inside. But there's also something like this.
Oh.
So this is a scary image of Lucifer.
Right. Lucifer.
The devil, yes, it's Lucifer. And it was painted in 1336, so 1336, by an artist called Buonamico di Buffalmacco, and everybody was afraid of it. Think about 700 years ago, looking at this huge, because it's a real huge fresco, and they saw it and they could be afraid of it. So they started to invent a lot of legends. And one of them is this one that I have behind me. This.
Okay.
Lucifer came out from the cemetery and he wanted to destroy the church. This is the church. So he couldn't, of course, it was not powerful enough. The only thing that Lucifer left were the fingerprints. Marked with his claws. So these are these little holes that you see here.
Okay.
Are the fingers of Lucifer.
Wow.
All of them.
Okay.
And the legend, it's a legend for kids, of course. And
Yeah,
the legend
right.
says that if you count them, anytime you count them, you never have the same total. But just in case you have it, just in case you have the same number, you die.
You die, okay. Okay, interesting.
It was a legend made for children for, actually for educating them. It didn't work at all, to be honest.
Right.
But in the past we had them. If you think about the scary novel, the scary story by the Grimm brothers, for example, the fairy tales, or the one that we have in Tuscany, that is famous all over the world, is Pinocchio. You know the puppet, the marionette?
Yes.
It's a scary story here.
It is scary.
The Walt Disney version is something totally different.
That's why you can't lie, right? Do not tell lies.
Yes, yeah. But it's not just a matter of lying, it's just a matter of behavior, because this boy, this puppet, is a bad puppet, real bad one.
Right.
His father, for saving him, goes to jail, is imprisoned, and Pinocchio dies 3 times in the book. Killed by the cat and fox, eaten by a monster, then there's a shark. It's totally different from the version that Walt Disney filmed in the past. But it is a scary story, and we don't read it when we are too young because we don't understand it.
Right.
So we need an adult to explain it, actually.
Okay.
And we almost arrived to this.
And this is the famous tower. Yes.
This is the famous tiny little tower. Because everybody coming here, when they see it, they say, I thought it was taller than it. And yes, it was supposed to be almost the double of it. But we couldn't make it for the reason of the stability of the ground, the subsoil made of water, and also the fact that there used to be a river here. So the tower was put on the edge of a river. So the stability was not that good, but they had to make it there. It was obligatory to put the tower there because this was the final part of your life. So he had to stay behind the church and looking at the city, pointing the city. The city is there. So that's the reason why they made it here, because they could even change the position of it, but it was not easy. The project wanted it to be there. And also, the funny story of this one says that we don't know who made it. We don't have the name of the architect who made the tower. Because this man made a mistake, and maybe he was punished, he was imprisoned, or they killed him, was murdered. We don't know it, and it's so weird. If you think that this is the most iconic tower that we have in Italy, and there's no name of an architect who made it, because we have the name of the architect for all of the building in this square, except this one here. And it's quite weird if you think about it.
Yes.
So what happened? The whole tower was prepaid by the population. It was the citizens of Pisa that paid for the tower. They paid a lot. And it's a kind of private tower, but the whole square is private. It's property of a corporation called Opera.
Okay.
And the Opera, it's like a modern company that bought the island, when it was an island, about 1,000 years ago. So this territory is for rent. The bishop uses it, but it's not its property. It's not property of the bishop. It's like a private house. So all of the buildings needed to be paid by private, not by a public institution. So the cities paid for it, the citizens, every people paid for the tower, for the church, for all of the buildings you have seen so far, and including this one here. So think about the reaction, because when the architect in 1173 started to make the tower, he was able to arrive to the 2nd floor, this height. And then the tower started to sink down and slide because of the river underneath. So maybe the population didn't accept this fact. and they got rid of him somehow. But the tower remained at this height for 70 years. In 1250, another architect started to go on with this 4 floor more, but you don't see it from the camera because it's a bit hard to see it from a picture, from a video. But the pillars and the stones here are taller than the other side. This architect tried to compensate, to counterbalance the lean using this strategy. So longer pillars on one side, shortened pillars to the other side. But it didn't work that much because when he got to this floor, the 6th floor, the tower became too heavy and it started to move as in the past. So the final part of it was added just at the end of the 1300, 1380. So 2 centuries for making a tower that was supposed to be 300 feet, but it's just 170.
Okay.
And the real problem was 300 years ago, there used to be a monastery here, there used to be a church. So try to imagine a church here, we demolished.